Hello, my dear seniors. You know, there's something beautifully familiar about oatmeal. It's warm, it's soft, and it doesn't argue with your teeth. A perfect breakfast friend, loyal and gentle, just like some of us after retirement. But here's a little surprise. Sometimes, even a good old friend like oatmeal can get into bad company. You sprinkle a bit of this, a spoon of that, thinking it's all healthy, and suddenly, that innocent bowl turns into a tiny sugar bomb or blood. Pressure trap. Now, don't worry, this isn't a lecture. I'm not here to snatch away your breakfast bowl or chase you with a kale smoothie. I'm just here for a friendly chat over the kitchen table, like a caring grandchild who read one too many health articles. So, let's explore together 7 sneaky little ingredients that might be ruining your morning oatmeal without you even noticing. Let's keep the comfort, but lose the silent troublemakers, shall we? All right, let's take a peek into that bowl with love, laughter, and a little bit of wisdom. Number 1, sweet trouble. When sugar sneaks into your morning bowl, all right? Let's begin with the most charming troublemaker of them all, sugar. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, come on. Just a little sprinkle won't hurt. And you're right, it won't. A gentle dusting, a pinch for taste, a drizzle of honey to remind us of childhood mornings. That's not the enemy. The enemy, my dear seniors, is what happens when that just a little turns into just a bit more, and maybe just a bit more after that. You see, sugar is a bit like that one friend who always brings snacks to the party, but somehow leaves a mess behind. It walks in smiling, gets everyone excited, and then boom, your blood sugar spikes. Your energy crashes, and your poor pancreas starts waving a white flag. Let's put it this way, adding spoonfuls of brown sugar, white sugar, or even fancy syrups to oatmeal is like inviting mischief into your breakfast. It tastes good, yes, but the cost is hidden, especially for those of us who are no longer spring chickens. So what does sugar actually do in the body of someone over 60? Well, imagine your body like a classic car. A little fuel keeps it running, but too much and the wrong kind causes wear, tear, and leaks where you don't want them. Sugar inflames the body, stirs up trouble with insulin, and quietly contributes to things like heart disease, memory issues, and even joint pain. And here's the sneaky part. Sugar doesn't just cause problems in the obvious ways. It also makes us crave more sugar later in the day. That innocent sweet bowl in the morning? It might be setting you up for a biscuit binge at tea time, or that late night nibble on a harmless piece of cake that somehow disappears in 3 bites. Now, I'm not here to scare you. You live long enough to know that life's about balance, not fear, but I am here to tell you this. You deserve energy, clarity, and steady strength, not sugar spikes and crashes. Think of this as a gentle reminder from a grandchild who wants you around for many more breakfasts to come. So, what can we do instead? Oh, there's hope, and it's delicious. Try sweetening your oatmeal naturally. Mashed banana adds creaminess and a soft, sweet taste without shocking your system. A few slices of apple, gently warmed, can feel like apple pie in a bowl. A sprinkle of cinnamon brings warmth and flavor without sugar's baggage. Even unsweetened almond milk or coconut milk can add a gentle sweetness if you let your taste buds adjust. And here's a secret trick. The less sugar you eat, the sweeter real food starts to taste. After a few weeks, a plain strawberry will taste like a treat, and you'll wonder why you ever needed the extra spoonfuls to begin with. Let me tell you a quick story. There's an old gentleman I met once, George. He used to load his oatmeal with brown sugar every morning. Can't start the day without it, he'd say. But after a small health scare and a talk with his doctor, and a very persistent granddaughter, he switched to mashed banana and cinnamon. 3 weeks later, he said, "You know, I actually enjoy this more now, and I don't get sleepy at 10 a.m. anymore." George still eats his oatmeal every day, but now he does it with a twinkle in his eye, knowing he's being kind to his body, not just his taste buds. So, dear friends, this isn't about giving up sweetness. It's about choosing the kind that loves you back. Oatmeal is still your friend. We're just asking sugar to tone it down a little. Let's move forward, one spoonful at a time, with love and wisdom stirred into every bite. Number 2, the creamy culprit. Sweeten condensed milk in your oatmeal bowl now then. Let's move on to a creamy delight that has stolen many hearts and raised many blood pressures along the way. Yes, you guessed it. Sweetened condensed milk. I know. Just saying the words can make your mouth water. Thick, sweet, velvety. The way it melts in the warm oats is almost poetic. It brings back memories, doesn't it? Perhaps of childhood treats, cups of tea with a splash of that golden goo, or those special bowls of porridge made with extra love, and maybe too much sugar. But here's the gentle truth. My dear seniors, sweetened condensed milk is like that charming guest at a party who brings dessert, flirts with everyone, and leaves you with a headache the next morning. So what's the problem, really? Well, let's break it down. In just 2 tablespoons of sweetened condensed milk, you can find over 20 grams of sugar and a hefty dose of saturated fat. That's a lot packed into something that disappears in 2 spoonfuls. And when it slides into your oatmeal, it doesn't just bring flavor, it brings trouble. For seniors, our bodies become a little more delicate with time. What we used to tolerate in our 30s or 40s now leaves a bigger footprint. Here's what this creamy culprit can do. Raise blood sugar quickly. Not ideal for those managing diabetes or insulin resistance. Spike triglycerides, which quietly nudges your risk of heart disease. Overload the kidneys, especially if you're already dealing with high creatinine or other kidney concerns. Add unnecessary calories, and not the kind that fuel your muscles or brain. And perhaps most sneakily of all, it tricks you into thinking your oatmeal needs it to taste good when really your palate has just gotten used to the drama. Now, before you worry, no, I'm not banning you from the kitchen. And I'm certainly not here to steal away your comfort food. But I am here to offer something better. Joy without regret. Taste without toll. Comfort without consequence. Let me tell you a little story. There's a sweet lady I once knew her. Name was Auntie Nora. Every morning, she made oatmeal with a generous pour of condensed milk. She said it reminded her of her childhood in the countryside. But when her doctor noticed her cholesterol creeping up, she decided to try something new. At first, she grumbled, "I'm 78, love. If I want to put milk in my porridge, I will." But then her granddaughter visited from London with a jar of homemade almond butter and a dash of coconut milk. The next morning, Nora gave it a go. Tastes like a beach holiday. She laughed, and she never looked back. Now, she uses a little warm coconut milk and mashed banana to get that same creamy sweet fix without the sugar crash or the guilt. And she says her joints feel better too, and my trousers fit again. She told me with a wink. So what can you use instead? Here are a few swaps to keep that creaminess without the hidden harm. Unsweetened coconut milk, warm, smooth, and naturally sweet. Oat milk or almond milk, soft flavor and easy on the stomach. Greek yogurt, plain, adds creaminess and protein without the sugar. A spoon of nut butter, almond or cashew butter adds richness with healthy fats. Mashed fruit, banana or stewed pear blends beautifully and sweetens the oats naturally. Remember, the goal isn't to take away what brings you joy. It's to evolve the recipe so that it keeps bringing you joy for years to come. So let's raise our spoons to smarter choices, not out of fear, but out of love for ourselves. Because at this age, we deserve food that loves us back. Heart, joints, kidneys, and all. Next up, we've got some cheeky little dried fruits to have a word with. Number 3, dried fruit drama. When tiny treats become big trouble, now here's a plot twist no one saw coming. Fruit, the beloved hero of many a healthy meal, suddenly showing up in our story as the villain? Well, not quite. Let's just call them accidental mischief makers. You see, dried fruits like raisins, dates, and dried apricots are often invited into the oatmeal bowl with the best of intentions. natural sugar, fiber, antioxidants. And yes, in many ways, they are healthier than a spoonful of sugar or squirt of syrup. But as with many things in life context, portion and timing matter. Let's take a moment to picture a raisin dot. It's just a humble little thing, innocent looking. But did you know that by drying a grape into a raisin, you remove the water but keep all the sugar concentrated inside that tiny wrinkled package? Here's the kicker. Just a quarter cup of raisins contains more than 20 grams of sugar. And because they're small, it's all too easy to toss a handful into your oatmeal without thinking. Dates? Even higher dried apricots? Sticky little sugar. Bombs in disguise. Now, why is that a concern for older adults like us? Let's go through it gently. Blood sugar spikes. Just like with table sugar, the concentrated sugar in dried fruit can cause sharp rises and falls in blood sugar, leading to fatigue, irritability, and increased hunger soon after weight gain. Those innocent handfuls add up quickly in calories, especially when combined with other oatmeal toppings like milk or nuts. Tooth trouble. Sticky dried fruit clings to teeth, which can worsen. Dental health, especially if you're already managing sensitive gums or dentures. Digestive distress. In some people, dried fruit can lead to bloating or gas. Not exactly how you want to start your morning. And here's something many people don't know. Some dried fruits are coated in extra sugar or preserved with sulfites, which can cause headaches or allergic reactions, especially in sensitive older bodies. Now, before you panic and start flinging your raisins out the window, hold on a moment. Dried fruits aren't bad. They're just concentrated. And like good stories or strong tea, they're best enjoyed in moderation. Let me tell you about Mr. Harold 85, cheeky grin, big fan of apricots. He used to stir 5 or 6 chopped dried apricots into his morning oats every single day. One day, his doctor gently suggested cutting back after noticing some blood sugar swings and a bit of bloating. Harold wasn't thrilled. They're just fruit. He protested, but then he tried a new trick. He soaked just 1 dried apricot overnight in water and sliced it thin in the morning. The flavor spread beautifully through the oats and the texture. Soft and juicy. It's like apricot tea in my porridge, he said with a chuckle. And just like that, balance was restored. Here's what you can try instead. Fresh fruit over dried, a chopped apple, pear, or a few blueberries offer sweetness with more water and fiber. Soak your dried fruit. This reduces the glycemic impact and makes them gentler on digestion. Use less. Slice thin. One day can go a long way if you chop it finely. Choose unsweetened varieties. Always check labels and avoid those with added sugar or sulfites. Think of dried fruit like jewelry on an outfit. Lovely in small doses, overwhelming in large ones. Your oatmeal doesn't need to be a fruitcake. It needs to be a comforting, balanced start to your day. So let's not throw out our raisins just yet. Let's just get smarter about how and how much we enjoy them. Because when you're over 60, the goal isn't just to eat food that tastes good. It's to eat food that lets you feel good, move freely, and smile with energy long after breakfast is done. Now then, speaking of smiling, what about the innocent splash of fruit juice some folks pour into their oats? Let's have a little heart-to-heart with that one next. Number 4. The sneaky splash. Fruit juice in your oatmeal. Fruit juice, the sweet, tangy elixir that's been a staple in many households for generations. It's that vibrant splash we sometimes add to our oatmeal, believing it brings a burst of freshness, vitamins, and a little sunshine to start our day. But here's the cheeky secret. While fruit juice might seem innocent and even wholesome, when it sneaks into your breakfast bowl, it's like inviting a rowdy guest who overstays. They're welcome and wrecks the calm of your morning routine. Let's unpack this a little, shall we? Fruit juices, especially the store-bought bottled kind, are often loaded with concentrated sugars, even if the label says 100% natural. That's because when fruit is juice, the fibrous parts are removed, leaving behind mostly sugar and water. Without the fiber to slow things down, this sugar rush hits your bloodstream faster than a sprinter on race day. For seniors, this sudden spike can lead to blood sugar roller coasters that leave you feeling drained, shaky, or cranky before lunchtime. Increased risk of insulin resistance, a slippery slope toward type 2 diabetes, unnecessary calorie loading without the satisfying feeling of fullness since juice lacks fiber, a potential upset stomach, especially if consumed on an empty stomach. Now, imagine adding that sweet juice splash to your oatmeal already packed with carbs and other toppings. It's like pouring gasoline on a smoldering fire. And there's more! Some fruit juices contain added preservatives and artificial flavors, which can cause mild allergic reactions or digestive discomfort in sensitive individuals, particularly older adults. Here's a little story to keep things real. Mrs. Edith, a sprightly 82-year-old, loved to start her day with a bowl of oatmeal brightened up by a generous splash of orange juice. She thought it was a lovely way to get her vitamin C, but after a few weeks, she found herself feeling jittery in the mornings. Her blood sugar test showed unusual spikes, and her beloved grandchild joked that grandma was full of beans and bouncing off the walls. After chatting with her doctor, Edith decided to swap the juice for a handful of fresh orange segments stirred into her oats. The difference was astonishing. Her blood sugar stabilized, her energy lasted longer, and, best of all, she still got that sunny citrus flavor she adored. So, what can you do instead of juice? Use fresh fruit pieces like berries, orange slices, or diced apples. The fiber slows sugar absorption and keeps you fuller longer. Try a small drizzle of pureed fruit, like mashed banana or cooked apple, which adds sweetness and texture naturally. Consider a splash of unsweetened nut milk or plain yogurt for creaminess without sugar overload. If you love citrus, zest a little orange or lemon peel into your oats for zing without the sugar spike. Remember, the goal is to enjoy your breakfast with a smile, not to ride a sugar roller coaster that leaves you tired before your morning walk. So next time you reach for that juice bottle, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this a friend or a frenetic guest? Your heart, your joints, your sweet old feet will thank you for choosing wisely. Coming up next, surprising pairing of oatmeal with salty cheeses. Can savory and sweet ever mix without causing a fuss? Stay tuned. Number 5. The salty surprise. When cheese meets oatmeal cheese and oatmeal. Sounds like an unlikely duo, doesn't it? Yet for some adventurous souls, that salty, creamy cheese melting into warm, hearty oats is nothing short of a breakfast revelation. But before you grab that wedge of cheddar and crumble it into your porridge, let's have a little chat about what happens when these two meet, especially if you're a seasoned senior. First, the good news. Cheese is rich in protein and calcium, both wonderful for keeping your bones strong and muscles happy as you gracefully age. And who can resist that satisfying savory punch? It's comforting, filling, and downright tasty. But here's the catch: cheese is also high in sodium. That's salt, dear friend, the sneaky seasoning that can raise your blood pressure and cause your body to hold on to extra water. And, as we all know, too much sodium can put a strain on your heart and kidneys, organs you want to cherish and nurture well into your golden years. Pairing salty cheese with oatmeal, which is naturally low in sodium, suddenly adds a hefty salt load that may make you feel bloated and uncomfortable, like your shoes suddenly shrunk overnight, lead to increased thirst and more trips to the bathroom, which, let's be honest, no one wants to do at 3 a.m. Raise your blood pressure, quietly and steadily, with long-term effects that can be tricky to spot until they become serious. Here's a little anecdote from Mr. George, a sprightly 78-year-old who swore by his cheesy oats ritual. Every morning, he'd crumble a generous chunk of feta into his bowl, declaring it the best way to start the day. But over time, he noticed his ankles puffing up like little balloons, and his heart feeling a bit more tired after his morning walks. His doctor gave him a friendly nudge, explaining the sodium story and suggesting some tasty lower salt alternatives. George took it in stride and experimented with low sodium cheeses like fresh mozzarella or ricotta, which still offer creamy goodness with less salt, adding herbs and spices like chives, black pepper, or smoked paprika to bring flavor without sodium. Combining small amounts of cheese with vegetables, such as spinach or mushrooms, to balance the saltiness with fiber and nutrients. Soon enough, George was back to enjoying his savory oats without feeling like a salted pretzel by noon. So, the takeaway: cheese can be a delightful addition to oatmeal if you choose wisely and keep portions in check. It's all about balance. Like a good dance or a perfectly timed joke. Your heart and body deserve that thoughtful care, because the goal is not just to eat well, but to feel well every day. Next up, we'll dive into the sweet but tricky world of honey and maple syrup, those golden drizzles that can turn oatmeal into a dessert or a health hazard if we're not careful. Stay tuned. Number 6. The golden drizzles. Honey and maple syrup's sweet trick. Honey and maple syrup, the golden elixirs that promise to transform a humble bowl of oatmeal into a sweet, sticky delight. It's no wonder they're popular. A drizzle here, a splash there, and suddenly breakfast feels like a treat worthy of royalty. But as with many things that taste heavenly, these sweet syrups come with their own little caveats, especially when it comes to us, the wise and wonderful seniors. See, honey and maple syrup are natural sugars, yes, but they're still sugars. And while natural often sounds better, and it usually is, they still pack a potent sugar punch that can sneak up on you faster than a mischievous kitten. Here's the lowdown: blood sugar spikes. These syrups can cause your blood glucose to surge quickly, leading to that tired, cranky slump a little while later. Not quite the energetic start you were hoping for. Weight gain risks. Because they're calorie dense and easy to overuse, it's surprisingly simple to pile on extra calories without realizing it. Gentle dilemmas sticky syrup loves to cling to. Teeth and gums, which can exacerbate dental problems common among seniors. Interaction with medications. For those on certain diabetes or blood pressure medications, sudden sugar highs can interfere with treatment effectiveness. Now, let me tell you about Mrs. Mabel, a sprightly 79-year-old with a sweet tooth as big as her heart. She loved drizzling honey over her morning oats, telling everyone it was liquid sunshine. But her doctor noticed her blood sugar was playing a troublesome game of hide and seek. So Mabel tried a little experiment. She cut back on the syrup and started adding a sprinkle of cinnamon and a handful of fresh berries instead. Not only did her blood sugar calm down, but she also found her oats tasted even more interesting and satisfying. Some tips to enjoy sweet flavors without the pitfalls. Use fresh or frozen fruits for natural sweetness and fiber. Experiment with spices like cinnamon, nutmeg, or vanilla extract to add flavor without sugar. If you do use honey or maple syrup, measure carefully. A teaspoon or less can go a long way. Consider unsweetened nut milks or plain yogurt to add creaminess and subtle sweetness. Remember, sweetness is meant to be savored, not rushed or overdone. Like a good joke, timing and moderation make all the difference. So next time you reach for the golden drizzles, think of them as a special garnish, not the main event. Up next, the curious case of mixing oatmeal with coffee or tea. Does that morning duo help or hinder your health? Number 7, the morning brew mix-up, coffee and tea in your oatmeal. Coffee and tea, the beloved morning companions that many seniors cherish to jumpstart the day. The aroma, the warmth, the gentle caffeine hug, it's a ritual as comforting as a well-worn cardigan. But have you ever wondered what happens when you combine these brews directly with your oatmeal? The answer might surprise you. Some adventurous souls like to pour a splash of brewed coffee or tea over their oats instead of milk or water. thinking it adds a lovely, sophisticated twist. While it sounds fancy, this combo can sometimes cause more fuss than flavor. Here's why. Caffeine's diuretic effect can increase trips to the bathroom, which might disrupt your sleep or leave you feeling dehydrated if you're not careful. Seniors are especially vulnerable to dehydration, and adding coffee or strong tea into oatmeal may unintentionally contribute to that risk. The tannins in tea and compounds in coffee can interfere with the absorption of important minerals from your meal, like iron and calcium nutrients your body needs more than ever as the years pass by. The bitter notes of coffee or tea can clash with the mild sweetness and texture of oatmeal, making it a less pleasant experience than you might expect. Let me share a story about Mr. Harold, a sprightly 80-year-old who fancied his coffee oats every morning. He'd brew a strong cup, pour some over his oatmeal, and enjoy what he called breakfast with a kick. But soon, Harold noticed he was visiting the loo more often than he cared to admit, and his joints felt a bit stiffer. After chatting with his doctor, Harold switched to having his coffee and oatmeal separately, coffee first, then a comforting bowl of oats with a splash of milk and some berries. The difference was remarkable. Fewer bathroom breaks, better hydration, and the breakfast he truly enjoyed. If you love your coffee or tea, here are a few friendly tips. Enjoy your brew separately from your oatmeal to avoid mineral absorption issues. Keep caffeine intake moderate, especially later in the day, to protect your sleep. Stay hydrated by drinking plenty of water alongside your coffee or tea. Experiment with herbal teas as a gentler alternative if caffeine causes trouble. In the end, oatmeal is your trusty morning ally, best kept simple, wholesome, and tailored to your needs. Thank you so much for spending this time with me exploring the little surprises hidden in our favorite breakfast bowl. Remember, taking care of your health is the greatest gift you can give yourself, and sometimes it's the small changes that make the biggest difference. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please do give it a like. It really helps us reach more wonderful seniors like you. Don't forget to subscribe for more friendly tips and stories to keep you feeling your best every day. We'd love to hear from you too. Share your thoughts, questions, or your own oatmeal adventures in the comments below. And if you know someone who would enjoy or benefit from this, please share this video with them. Thank you again for being here. Wishing you many happy breakfasts and even happier days ahead.